Hey, Heather.
Hey, Jen.
What are you listening to this week? Welcome to Season 7 of What Are You Listening To? The weekly podcast created to foster community through music by sharing the stories behind the songs that soundtrack our lives. Some of the songs are old, some new, all good. I'm Jenn Tully, and this week I'm joined by my longtime friend and fellow Swiftie, Heather Garner. In case that didn't give it away, Heather is back on the show to talk with me about the album we've all had on repeat since Friday, Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl. The album has been out for less than 36 hours at the time of recording, and already the lore drops and speculation are insane. So I brought Heather back to help me discern what is fact and what is no one cares. Throughout the course of the episode, Heather and I will discuss the album as a whole, but we will have 4 focus tracks that we'll dig into a little deeper. As always, 2 picks are mine and 2 picks are Heather's. Which songs do you think we're going to discuss? Tune into our conversation to find out. And in case our song picks are new to you, we'll publish a playlist with the episode so you don't miss a beat. With that, let's get started. Heather, I'm dying to talk to you about our girl Taylor. There is so much in this album, so we need to jump in so that we're not talking for 2 hours. We've got to jump in.
We might be. So
we might be.
No, we got to try to.
We got to see. We got to see what we can do.
There's a lot.
Well, let's jump in just in terms of like overall impressions. Like I said, we're recording on a Saturday morning. The episode will go live on Monday. So by the time it's hitting listeners' ears, the album will have been out for about 3 days. And already in a day and a half, there is so much out there about this album, as you expected, right? She's the #1 recording artist in the world right now. She's a global phenomenon. Like everybody knows who she is. So of course it's a hot topic, but man, oh man, I've never seen so much news about one particular piece of music in this short amount of time. How are you feeling about the album as a whole, just in general?
I love it. I love it. Love it. And I've said that before, but I love it.
Yeah.
That is my hot take from the moment I heard it the first time. It was love.
Yeah, which was at 11 p.m. Central Time on Thursday when we all stayed up past our bedtime. Bunch of old ladies stayed up past midnight to listen to that album.
100% stayed up. Yeah, and the next day, extremely. I'm still haven't recovered from staying. I got to have my 8 hours, and Taylor's worth it.
I know, it was worth it. And it continues to be. Like if I get in a car, if I'm in the kitchen, like our Sonos speakers all throughout the house are only playing Taylor currently. Like it's just the same thing. My impression was, my sweet spot with Taylor is kind of from like the 1989 album to Folklore, with Folklore being the pinnacle for me. Like Folklore is the end all, be all, the beginning, the end, all of it. So those albums are kind of my sweet spot. And it was interesting because she's producing with Max Martin and Shellback again on this one, who did some of her bigger tracks from Reputation from 1989. And then I'd say, that this is also the era that Jack Antonoff sort of enters the picture too. And so I was curious because I do love, Folklore is very squarely in the Jack Antonoff era camp. And so I was kind of nervous, like, am I going to like this one as much, going back to a Max Martin Shellback production, co-writing kind of style without Jack Antonoff? And the answer is yes. Yes. I love it too. I'm with you. I think that this album is so great. And, some of the criticism I've seen is like people, well, I think Taylor Swift is stuck or there's nothing new here. I'm like, okay, then she's stuck at #1. Like stick me there, right? Like I'll stay stuck at the very top of my game.
100%. And this one for me is what I call a non-skipper. Like I just play it through. Felt that way with Folklore 1989. It's very that for me. And I'm listening it through. There is not one that I'm like, I'll tolerate it. And then, and then later on I start skipping that particular one. This is not like that for me. It is 100% love all of them. Will not skip.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And I was, like I said, I was a little bit nervous going into it. Although I know whenever I had you on and we talked about Tortured Poets Department, that was something we did kind of share, though, that maybe it is time for her to step back from Jack Antonoff a little bit because it's been a long run with him. You know, he started with her on 1989, even though Max Martin and Shellback were there too. Like that's kind of where they were introed. And it was starting to sound a little bit like you could tell that he was there. He was almost like an invisible member of her band.
100%.
Yeah, so I was glad. I know we were feeling it on Tortured Poets Department, so I really this one delivered in so many ways that I wasn't expecting. So I'm so glad. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know what to expect, and I'll get into that a little bit when we talk about our song choices. But it wasn't this. I don't. We'll talk about that later. But I did not expect what we got, and it was a very good surprise.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it then. Tell me, let's start with your, like I mentioned in the intro, we've got, we'll talk about the album as a whole for sure. I think we'll probably at some point hit on most every single track, but we did narrow it down to 4 that we felt like were, you know, our personal favorites or the 4 strongest tracks on the album. So let's just jump in. What was your first pick? What song did you bring first?
The Fate of Ophelia. I just thought this was a genius choice to start out this album. And I think it set the tone for the whole album. Again, as I was just saying, I did not know what to expect. It's called The Life of the Showgirl. I really thought this album might be about her music, her work. But I don't know why, because she was so like dating Travis and all that. I didn't expect a bunch of Travis songs. I have no idea why I felt that way, but I just didn't. And this is a Travis song, obviously. Yep. And I think she's in her happy era, and this just set the tone for the whole thing. It's what, I don't know, the young kids call a bop or a banger, you know?
Yes.
And I played it for the first time and I immediately started dancing. And I was singing the lyrics by the end of the song. It's catchy. My husband, who is not a Swiftie, was dancing and singing as well. We're in the bathroom getting ready in the morning, you know, or whatever. And he's
Love it.
Yeah. So the first time he heard it, he's into it, which tells me a lot. And, yeah, so I just love that was the introduction to this album. Also, I connected with her feelings of, you know, being in this sad, dark place. As she says, it's drowning in her melancholy. You know, that was like, I've felt that before. And this man, and it doesn't have to be a man, it could have been a friend or whatever, comes in and rescues her from that melancholy. And I have felt that. I have been loved out of that place before by my man, you know, like and came in. It was just the same story. And so that resonated with me. And I also think, you know, a lot of what people love about Taylor is she shares her personal feelings through her work. And you know, so we all feel like we know her personally. And this is just another one of those songs. She's like sharing, hey, here I was, this man came in, here I am now, and this is what this album's about. Pretty much. I mean, you can go all ways with this album, but I felt like that was, I don't know, her telling us this, and just her being her real self is always so amazing. And yeah, we connect with that. So
I think so too, and I'm with you. Like this, I'm happy with where this album landed, but it was different than what I thought it was going to be too. I thought it was going to be like a road album, like a city to city. It's hard work. I expected it to be a lot more like gritty, like Reputation-y, I think, like biting
in there
a little. There is.
It's happy, like she's happy.
Yep. And I think you're right. Same. I think that like I was saying, I think I put in one of my notes, like I think that Travis needs like some sort of like producing credit for this because so many of the songs are Travis songs. Yeah. And for anybody that's been living under a rock, when we say Travis, we're talking about Travis Kelce, her boyfriend, the football player from the 49ers. I'm sorry, from the Chiefs. Oh my God. Can you imagine? They're going to have to edit that out or else I'm going to get crucified. More coffee. Sorry, Kansas City. Oof.
They're both red.
They're both red. I know. I'm looking at the colors. Well, actually, I'm looking for Taylor in the stands when I'm watching the game. Actually, that's what I'm doing. I'm being honest. But I mean, I think he's so prevalent throughout this. And it's funny, like the very first note I had on this was the exact same thing you said as well. Like, this is the perfect opening track. It sets the tone. It tells you like, oh, maybe this isn't like a road album. I'm tired of touring. This is a hard life I've chosen. Where like, I'm like, oh, this is like a sweet, I'm in love and I'm happy and I'm kind of getting towards like a settling down phase album. And you're like,
and like her real self that she may have forgotten along the way in the life of a showgirl. I feel like she's back to that, and Travis helped her find that. Is sort of the message I got.
Yes, good point. I think that that's right. And I love, I'll spend a lot of time on lyrics this episode just because she is so brilliant at them. But it's kind of what, we were talking about a little bit earlier, but pretty early in the song, she says, I swore my loyalty to me, myself, and I right before you lit my sky up.
Yes.
And I think we've all been there where you're like, I'm done, not dating ever again. This is for the birds.
Yep.
And then somebody amazing comes into your life, like you said, dude, friend, whatever.
Yeah.
I totally love that. And I also too, I love the second verse where she actually kind of tells the story of Ophelia a little bit for people that don't know. Did you like that?
Yes, and that's her. She's got that library lady side. She's got loves her reading and her Shakespeare, and I have those two sides too. And I just love that she always brings that in. And loved this song. Love the whole
I do too. Well, and I also too, like here's like a personal side note, but again, because we're longtime friends, we get to do this. It also makes me think of, do you remember when we were in school? And I think one of the first shows I saw, I think for folks that haven't listened to the show with Heather and I before, we're old friends from high school. We met in high school theater class and have been friends in and out of touch ever since. And when we first started, one of the first shows they did was Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. And I can remember that character of Ophelia, the way they directed her, was she just would pop into the scene and just be crying. Remember, she would just run around the stage and burst into tears. And so that was another reason I thought, oh, this is so great, like to have Heather back too, because that imagery was running through my head as well, like while I'm listening to this song. It totally reminded me of that.
That's so fun.
And I also love too, before we move on to the next track, there's another lyric that I want to get your hot take on. But I love the lyric where she says, you wrap around me like a chain, a crown, a vine. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what? That chills, right? Because a long-term relationship, even a short-term one sometimes, can really feel like that.
Like all of those. Yes.
Yeah. And it could be a chain like, a necklace that you always wear, or a chain like a ball and chain.
Yeah. But that's, not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not. And sometimes you need to be tethered to the earth.
100%. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I love it. But I'm just like, relationships, like I've not heard it phrased like that. And I'm just like, how does she know? Like, how I've been married for 23 years. And I'm like, how does she know more than I do?
No, it's insane. Old soul.
Old soul. She is.
Only explanation.
It's true. It's true. Well, then, so that's Fate of Ophelia sort of opens the album and sets the tone. It's a great song. I'm so glad this is the opener. And then, not one of our focus tracks, but we transition into Elizabeth Taylor, which is, this is a no skip album for me too. So there's nothing I'm passing over. Elizabeth Taylor it was tough for me I almost put this one on my focus list because I really do love it. It's a good one. And I love that she has a great line in this one when she says, be my NY when Hollywood hates me. And I'm like, that's so perfect. It's so good.
Like we'd be here all day if we went into
I know
them because she's just a genius.
She is. She's so good. And then it kind of like transitions. I think Opalite kind of stays in the same spot. We're in love. We're feeling good.
Pick that one. I almost picked it.
You did, Opalite? Yeah.
I love it.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, it is. It's just, and it's another, I got to move to the song. I love it.
Yeah, I like it too. We transition into father figure. The thing I'll say about this one is I love that she gives George Michael writing credit on this one.
Yeah.
So funny. I'm like, but she's such I mean, I think it just goes back to her being a good person, right? Like,
Oh,
could have been
yes.
a big court battle. It doesn't sound like father figure. I mean, certainly the lyric is, he has a song called Father Figure. But I just love that, she just got ahead of it and is like, yep, George Michael gets credit on this
Yeah.
one. Great. Thank you. All right. Well, your second focus track. So tell me what your second pick was, because here we are on the playlist.
Yes. Eldest Daughter.
Mm.
There's so much, like the whole show could be about this song, in my opinion. I am not the eldest daughter. I mean, in the sense of I'm not the oldest child. I am the first daughter, but I have an older brother and that's it. So it's not necessarily about the oldest being the eldest daughter for me. But there is so much I identified with in this song that my first listen, I actually cried. Like,
Same.
I cried, and not a lot. I've got some good medicine on board not to make me cry. Yeah. So not a lot makes me cry anymore, but this did. So I could have 100% written this song. I mean, not as geniusly as Taylor, but the feelings in this song, I just resonated with it so much. And a lot of people, like, I'm a TikToker, so I've seen all these TikToks about this song, and I think it means different things to different people. So, which that's music, but she talks about growing up and the things that shaped her and changed her along the way and made her who she is. And just, I'm like, that's me too. People pleaser, perfectionist, conflict mediator, and all of that is shaped by your position in the family, the birth order and all of that, but also just things that have happened in your childhood, growing up. And then she brings Travis in, which I'll get to that in a minute. But so this line, this is what first I was like, oh, that's me, I have been afflicted by terminal uniqueness, and I'm a self-reflector. I know myself well. I know why I am the way I am. And I feel like this song just was like, yes. So that's the first thing that really got my attention. And I know a lot of people feel this way, like you just feel different on the inside than everyone you're around. And then we just put up this personality or this costume on, trying to be something we're not, trying to fit in, trying to be cool, when we don't really care about those things, or like she says, I never wanted to get married or whatever. That's a lot. And there's so much we say and do that aren't really us, and it's actually painful trying to be that way. I was like, oh my gosh, trying to be something you're not just to get something you want is kind of what I got from that. And I'm like, I identified with that so much, especially I think all like middle school girls and high school girls, we're all trying to figure out who we are. And that was just so interesting to me. And that line, that lyric specifically was just like, wow, you just put into words what I have felt forever. And then the second line that lyrics really got me was cautious discretion, and how and you probably don't even know a lot about this, but early on in my life, I experienced a lot of difficult things, and it shapes you and it builds this fear around you. And I became a really cautious, careful person because of it. And so that cautious discretion, she talks about falling off the trampoline, breaking her arm, and so I was like, that's me as well. I identified with that because I developed that as well. And then she talks about Travis, she's never laughed like that before. And I think she's saying he brought her back to those innocent days before she built all this crazy stuff up. And now she's back to who she really is. And he brought that out in her. And I feel the same way with my husband. You know, he broke down all those things, and I'm 100% authentic self with him. And she's the same. And it just brought tears. It brought tears to my eyes.
Same exact thing.
Wow. Yeah.
Even I imagine I'm going to get, what did you say?
Happy for that was some
yes.
of the, I'm so glad you found that perfect happiness. She's been struggling her whole life to find and trying to be all these different people just to find what she finally has. And I lived that too. And she lived it too. And I'm so happy for her. And that was part of the tears too, is happiness for myself and her.
Yes, same exact thing. And I made the same. My very first note on this song is if she's sitting at a piano, I'm crying. Like that's typically how it goes. Like her piano songs just really like hit differently. And I think that, I don't know, I think the piano must be some sort of conduit for her too, to like really open up and go deep and get vulnerable. Because, you know, I've said it before, you know, New Year's Day is one of my all-time favorites. And that is a classic, you know, Taylor piano song. But I just think that, and I wrote down the exact same lyric you did. I have been afflicted by a terminal uniqueness, and I've been dying just from trying to seem cool. Like that. And I think it's so interesting. Again, I'm so happy to have you on the show. You're the only person I want to talk about with this. And I think part of that is because we did grow up in this formative time. We watched each other through high school and all of those challenges. And we went to a giant high school. Like it was almost like a little mini city. You know, there were so many people. And so I think, you know, watching that and then going through college and marriage and now, you know, kids leaving home and things like that, it really is interesting to think about the parts of me, of you, of us that are the same, and the parts that are different, and the parts that we could see in each other even as kids that made us know like, oh, this is somebody that gets me, or this is somebody that understands me.
Yes.
You know,
I'm excited to talk to you about this as well, because our little theater group, I feel like we were all like that. We have this difference. We were just different. And when we were together, that was home, you know, and where we could also be our true selves in this crazy world of high school where everybody's pretending, you know?
Yes, that's such a good word for it. And we were kind of like a Breakfast Club ragtag group, right? I mean,
yeah, we were all different. Like,
yeah, you were a cheerleader at the time. Yeah. Like I can remember, and I was like a fully drama geek. We had super like brainiacs in, you know, Josh was kind of a new waiver type guy back. I mean, we had like all of the characters. Football. Yeah. And I think that once but like you said, once we were all in that theater room together, we were all on equal footing. There was no social hierarchy. We were all just there learning. And I have to may he rest in peace. He was a life changer for me. But Mr. Blankenship, you know, our theater director, was, I think, really, really responsible for bringing those friendships together that still are alive and well today. You know, I saw Josh Wooldridge on Wednesday. Like, you know, I think that, and I talked to Shannon on the daily. I know you're in touch with a lot of those folks. And it's not random either for us to get a text, you know, on the text thread, like all of a sudden one day something will pipe up and, you know, we're all communicating again, just like we did when we were 16, you know. So I love that this song sort of like put that into words. You know, it talked about how like all of us, I think, even if I think that everybody wrote down that lyric, or that lyric's resonating with everyone because everyone feels it. It's universal. Even if you're not admitting it, you will in 10 years, right?
Yes. And I think that's so good for people to talk about that. And it lets people know that's normal. You know, it's normal to feel weird and different on the inside from the people I don't know. And then you find your people, and that's when that happiness comes. And I just love
For
it.
sure. Me too. And I think, we talked about this a little bit. I have a lot of my daughter's a senior in high school. She'll be heading off to college. So we have a lot of friends that this was their first year with their kids out, and, they're trying to make new friends, find their way in college. And I was talking to my sister-in-law the other day, and we were like just chatting about it. And one of the hardest things to do is to sort of like fly your own flag high so that you bring the people that are into what you're into to you. And I think it's just engineered the wrong way, right? Like we're sort of taught to chase after what you want rather than be your authentic self, and what you want is going to come to you.
100%. I love that, Jen. I love that. That is
And
deep thoughts.
and so, and that's what this song made me think of, though. Like it's sort of saying, like, you fly your flag high, and what you want is going to find you. Like it's going to come to you as long as you're being authentic. And I didn't learn that until I was almost 40, probably.
Yeah, most people don't. So we need, yeah.
And I also think, before we move on from this track, which again is one of my favorites on the whole album too, I think that this song is an example of why people love her. It's well written, it's melodic, it tells a story, it's personal, it offers words of wisdom, it's honest. Like that's why when people are like, why Taylor Swift? I'm like, that's why. Those reasons right there. It's all encapsulated in this song. That's why.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, conveniently, I chose the very next song on the track list as my first pick, and it's a song called "Ruin the Friendship." This one takes me right back to the hallowed halls of Trinity High School.
Oh yeah, same.
Woo-wee, who hasn't felt this way? I mean, who hasn't felt this way where I think that's what's most amazing about her to me. I mean, for somebody that's led a pretty unconventional life from an early age. I mean, I think she left, she was born on a Christmas tree farm in Pennsylvania. They left when she was around 12 to move to Nashville to focus on her music career. So it's not like she was like you and I, like driving to school and like doing the thing. Like, I don't know how she's able to be so relatable when, she led this very different life than you or I, yet I feel like she could have been hanging out in that courtyard in front of the drama building with us any day of the week.
For sure. Yes.
Right?
I've always loved her because I feel like connected and like, wow, we're one and the same. And here she's this famous singer. We're not one and the same, but she makes you feel that way. Yeah.
Totally. And, I immediately think of a boy that the song 100% applies to. And the funny thing is so did my 17-year-old daughter. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, it's just universal. Like, I mean, is there a ruin the friendship guy that comes to your mind? Maybe. See?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I think we've all had that. And I think it's that moment where you're friends, but you also know there's something more, but you don't want to break chick code. That's a no-no. Like, we all believe in that. Yet at the same time, you also don't want to live a life of regret either. And of course, when I think, hopefully for both of us, when we're thinking of our ruin the friendship guy, he didn't suffer the same fate. The boy I'm thinking of, that the friend in our song did, which sadly, it ends up being a song about regret because the person that she did not take a chance with ends up dying. And, again, another reason why it feels like we're talking about the plot of like a movie and it's a 3-minute song. That's a lot packed in.
It is. Yeah.
But I like this sentiment. We spend a lot of time, again, teaching ourselves and our daughters about girl code, which I 100% believe in. And we spend a lot of time, playing games with potential partners, who's going to text back first, or I'm going to wait. Remember back in the day, it was like, wait 5 days before you call, like all kinds of crazy stuff. Yes. And I think that she has the line where she says it would have been the best mistake. And then there's another line that says staying friends is safe doesn't mean you should. Right. And so I just think it's just, yes, this is a nostalgic love song about a missed opportunity, but I also think that it's a reminder that sometimes you have to go for it. It is so hard to be vulnerable, especially with another person, but it's better than regret. Right.
100%. And I crack up because like my daughter tells me these unspoken rules they have on like Snapchat and this, like, no, you can't snap back immediately, or you, if you show your shoulder, that means one thing. If you show your face, that means one thing, and it's like, forget all that.
Yes.
Just do it, because you're going to regret not. And that's, I think, the whole message of the song, which is,
I think so too.
or you will regret it. Yeah.
You will. And, I think we spend, especially as girls, and this kind of goes back to Fate of Ophelia, we spend a lot of time playing it safe because we're people pleasers and we don't want to hurt anybody. And again, I want to like, I 100% like chick code, hoes before bros. Like I'm in all the way. I'm not saying go out and like screw your friends or, whatever. Like I'm not looking to hurt anybody. And I think there are times where as women, especially, we are way more cautious than we need to be. And we miss out on opportunities because we're trying to make sure we don't hurt anybody else, or we don't ruffle any feathers, or we don't rattle anybody's cage when we're like killing ourselves for it,
It kind of goes back to the Eldest Daughter song too. It's
Mm-hmm.
the same, that's
Yeah.
we are. So yeah, it's not necessarily the best thing.
Yeah, it's not. And so I love the song. I think it's a beautiful song. And I also really, really love the message on that one. Well, before we get to my second pick, there's no way we can skip the track in between. We have got to discuss Actually Romantic. There is all kinds of mania out there about, is this or is this not a Charlie XCX diss track? So what's your take?
I mean, honestly, I had to look up the Charlie XCX lore, all of that about it, because I didn't really know. And then I do feel like there are a lot of things that point to that, but I think they've denied it and I don't know. So it could be about anybody, to be honest. I think it's funny, cheeky, I don't know.
I like it too. And
yeah,
I'm with you. I don't know either. I don't know if anybody really knows except the two of them. But I don't think that she's like, I just don't think she's keeping score in that way. Do you know what I mean? I think if she doesn't have time. I think if it's anything, it's just a conglomerate of people. Do you know what I mean? It could be Charlie XCX. It could be Kim Kardashian. It could be Kanye. You know what I mean? It could be just an amalgamation of all of these things that she's put into, this character. We all know she loves to write about a character. So I don't really think, like, I'm not buying into the Charlie XCX like diss track thing. Like I think it's just, I mean, I love that people are getting so into it that they're trying to connect the dots, and I think it would defeat the purpose of the song, right? Like the whole song is about like, it's so sweet that you're taking so much time to care about me. Like it's actually romantic that you spend so much energy on me, right?
I've thought that before,
Same.
You must love me. Yeah.
I know. Like, wow. How long have I been living rent free in your head?
Right. Yeah. It goes back to that line. Exactly. It's totally connected. But yeah, I do think a lot of times when we think it's about a certain person, I feel like she might do that a little bit on purpose. I don't know. But it's a conglomerate, like you were saying. That's my theory. But I think she thinks that we think it's certain people.
Yeah, well, and it's part of it's part of why there have been, thousands of stories already written about this album that is 36 hours old. Like, it's because of things like this. But yeah, I think it's a good song. I think like the rest of the songs, don't skip it. But yes, we had to address and offer our hot take on whether or not it was a diss track. Well, that brings me to my second pick, which is the track Wish List. And again, if ever there was a Travis track on here, I think this one is one as well. It's upbeat. It's lyrically dense. Got a lot of words in this one. But it's very direct. It's very sweet. I love the line where she says, have a couple kids, have the whole block looking like you.
Yes, yes.
And then of course too, like we tell the world to leave us the fuck alone and they do. Yeah. I'm like, oh
yeah, I know.
That one hit my heart. That one, because I and she talks a lot about like, the downside of fame, but not as much as a lot, because I think she also realizes too, like what a privilege it is to lead the life that she leads. But I think you give up so many practical things that we don't think about, when she talks about like a basketball hoop in the driveway, like she's never going to be able to have like not in the sense that we were used to, right? If her kids are out front playing basketball, there's going to be a drone overhead trying to get footage. There's going to be, like she's
paparazzi everywhere.
Yeah. Like some of the simple things that we enjoy are just never going to be a reality for her. Mm-hmm. And I felt like that line really hit hard, because that's got to be hard. That's got to be, it makes me a little bit sad.
Yeah, it is sad. And I don't think, just listening to it on the surface, you're going to get that, but it is very sad. Yeah. She's just like, this is my wish list. Everybody's wishing for these crazy things, which she has a lot of that stuff, but she just wants simple, and she'll never have it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the key, right? And she'll never have it. Like she's past that point, even if she never released another song for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Which please, Lord, no.
Album. Come on. 13.
Right. 13's coming. You're right. You set me straight. But I just think that this one, like that, I think there's a lot more to this song. And I think that's why I chose it, is that I feel like this one is really multi-layered. Like, yes, you've got the surface where it's kind of cute and catchy and she's listing all the things, like you said, that people want. And then it's kind of on the back end, really deep, thinking about like her wish list being so simple and unachievable still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is sad.
All right. Now we're going to, like I told you, we had to address Actually Romantic. We got to address this one. I'm sorry we have to do it. But the next track on the album is a song called Wood. So this is the one where I don't skip it. I like this song, so I don't skip it.
I love the vibe of this song. Love it. It's just very,
totally. Where I run into issue is some of the lyrics are, the innuendo is a little bit cringy for me. And I think it's because of what you mentioned earlier. Like we all feel like we know her, right? We all feel like she's a person. She's so vulnerable. She's so open. A lot of her songs, you feel like you're reading straight from her diary. So we feel like we know her, and we know Travis Kelce. And so I think I said this to you before we started recording. It almost feels like when you're listening to some of these lyrics that like you've walked in on your mom and dad having sex, right? Like,
yeah.
Like I'm sure that Travis' love did open her thighs, and I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, am I an old lady, or like where do you land on this song? Like, how are you feeling?
My first reaction was hysterical laughter. I thought, I love you, Taylor. That is hysterical that you put this on your album. Like that was my first reaction. Then the cringy came in. Like the second listen, I was like, and like, but yeah. And then, but I just keep going back that is so funny to me. And also I think it shows how Travis may have changed her a little bit. Right. Like I think before Travis, she may have never put something like that on an album, and that he's just so, hey, I don't know, too much. Yeah. And I don't know if you went back and looked at the podcast, the New Heights podcast, when she was listing the names of the song. His face when she talks about the song, when she says wood on there, he's just like
I did not.
Yeah, you got to go back and watch it. It was hysterical. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's funny. I think it's funny that she did that. I think some people will be offended and just like, ew, that's so classless or whatever. That's not you, Taylor Swift or whatever. But it is like, oh my gosh, I don't want to know. I will never look at Travis Kelce the same again. I won't. And my eyes are going to go down every time and be like, no, look up. Yeah. Cause like, how can you not after that? But
seriously.
Also the whole redwood tree thing in there. He's built like a redwood tree. And I'm not talking about the other Bill. He's just a big guy, And so I look at it that way too. He's just a big guy, but we know what she's talking about.
We know.
I just
we all know.
Hysterical. I'm like, it made me love her even more that she did something like that and put that on her album because it's funny. And it's a great song. Like
it is
a great song. But if you look and like really start listening, like all of us Swifties do, it's just like, oh, why did you do that? Why did you need to do that? But I applaud her for it.
You know what?
Oh, girl.
And I think your approach is the right one. Like, it's funny, right? Like, it's funny. Like, let her be funny. And how often, people are comparing it to like, Tears from Sabrina Carpenter, which also I think some people are like, oh, it's just gross. Like, I don't want to think about it. But how long have dudes been singing about, like all kinds of gross stuff with like the ladies? I'm like, you know what? If she wants to talk about it and she wants to have a real moment, like, go ahead. I am here for it.
Yeah.
And if if it makes me glance downward next time I see Travis Kelce.
It's happening. It's going to happen probably forever now. Thanks to her.
Oh my gosh. Well, she finishes out the album with 3 tracks that are good. I felt like we're kind of leaving a hole here at the end of the album, but the 4 songs that we picked, I think, are just so strong. I felt like those were the right choices. But right after Wood, she moves into a song called Canceled, which is kind of, this feels like it could have also sat on the Reputation album. For sure, that era. But I also like that it's not so much about like cancel culture and how she feels about it. It's about like sort of that like attracts like, right? Like we can tell that we've all been canceled because of the scar. We all have the same scar, like, and I think that goes back to our earlier conversation about, flying your flag high and your people are going to come to you because you're being your authentic self. So you're going to attract those people that are like you. And that's kind of what canceled meant to me, is it felt like, find your people and those are your people. Doesn't matter if they're cool, if they're not, if people think they're weird, if they don't. Like, your people are your people, and you protect that with everything you've got.
You will stand by them no matter what. Like,
yep.
Yes. It's a loyalty song to me too.
Yep. That's a great way to put it. Loyalty song. And then Honey, she does like what she's so good at here, where she like takes a phrase or a word and she just owns it. Like, nobody else can touch this word after the song. Like, it's hers now.
And the fact that she's like pointing out people, honey, in your sarcastic way, but then she likes it now when Mr. Travis says it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of that way. My daughter's the same way. We don't like the lovey-dovey baby, and it just never feels authentic until the right person says it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh, I like being called babe or whatever. When before it was like, cringe, and then, and I just love that there's a song out there now about that because I have felt that.
Totally. Well, in the condescending ways that people use the word to, we live in the land of bless your heart,
100%. Yeah.
And so I do love that she just really claims it and is like, yeah, go ahead, use it passive aggressively, like do what you will. But somebody's calling me honey and they mean it.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, and then we round out the album with the last track, the title track, The Life of a Showgirl, which is a duet with Sabrina Carpenter. So what did you think of this one? I feel like we do need to spend a second on it, even though it wasn't a focus track, just because it's the title track and it's the only duet that features.
Yes. And I immediately loved it. It was another one I'm singing and dancing to. And then I got on TikTok and the comparisons to the Jonas Brothers, cannot be denied. I don't know. Have you listened to both of them?
I haven't listened to them back to back. I've seen the comparisons, but I haven't like listened right there. So it is really similar, you're thinking.
It's the same. Like it is which at first I was like, what? Why did you do that? But Taylor does nothing without
by
it
accident
being intentional, so there's a reason. We don't know it yet. And then you start looking back, like which song is it? Well, it's Wish List. what song does that sound like to you? Glitch.
Yeah.
And there's, oh, now I can't think of which one it is. Sounds like Jackson 5. We talked about it.
Yeah. It's Wood, right?
Is it Wood? Yeah, it's Wood.
I think it's Wood.
Like Jackson 5. I mean, there's a lot. So I think there's some intentional things she did with having some of these songs, or maybe even all of them, I don't know, sound like inspiration from something else. But that one is just, Life of a Showgirl is blaringly, obviously, just like Cool from the Jonas Brothers. And I need to know why. There's a reason, and I need to know why. But I love the song. I like Sabrina Carpenter being on it. I think it was a great way to end the album, just like Fate of Ophelia was a great way to open this one. This is an amazing one to end the album with.
I think so too. And I think she's brilliant at the way she tracks her albums. I think that's something that has kept her on top all these years. I think people don't think enough about, I mean, I guess I don't have any idea. That's a broad generalization, but I think she's a very intentional, like she is with all things, but I think specifically about how she tracks those albums. And I agree. This was the perfect Fate of Ophelia. For Fate of Ophelia being the perfect opener, this is 100% the perfect closer. Yeah. I like Sabrina Carpenter too. I like what she's doing to push the boundaries. And if people find her lyrics gross or cringy or whatever, okay, turn it off. But yeah. I think it's great what she's doing. And I think it's, I also too love like the dynamic of whatever Sabrina Carpenter being like 4'10" and Taylor Swift being, 5'10". Like they look so cute when they're together.
Jen. I'm 6 feet tall, so I feel that. That's another reason she's close to my height.
She's a tall girl. Well, of course, too, the big talk around town, it's ACL Festival weekend 1 here in Austin, and Sabrina Carpenter's the headliner tonight. So everyone is like on pins and needles.
Is Taylor going to show up and sing this song with Sabrina?
We're all hoping. But signs are kind of, I mean, I'm normally like, nah, but signs are pointing to yes. The Saturday 1-day passes sold out before anything else.
Yeah.
All the corporate tickets that they're giving out, like nobody got Saturday passes. Like it makes me feel like something. I don't know. We'll see. By the time the show airs, we will know for sure if she does make a surprise appearance with Sabrina Carpenter tonight. But this girl's hoping she does.
I wish I was there, man.
It makes the wait, what was that?
Not only for Taylor, but also for Sabrina.
Right. Yes. And I mean, Sabrina Carpenter is an amazing performer. And I know some people have called out that they think it's cheesy. I love the way the song ends, where you hear her thanking the crowd and thanking the band and thanking Sabrina. Like, I'm assuming that was pulled from one of the stops of the Eras tour, but I love it. I feel like that too is like the perfect, like, mwah, like chef's kiss on the end of an amazing album.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yay. Well, Heather, thank you so much for joining me on the show again. You are my first call when it comes to talking Taylor. You and my niece, we like those are the people I was texting with on Thursday night into Friday morning. Well, listeners, we're dying to know what you think of the Life of a Showgirl. You can DM me on Instagram at JennJenn1020. That's JennJenn1020, and let me know your thoughts. Did we choose the right 4 focus tracks? Would you have chosen different songs? What lore or amazing lyrics did we get right? What did we miss? Just slide on into my DMs and tell me what's up. I'm sure that there are lots of opinions out there, but I do love getting all the feedback, so thank you. And last request, please be sure to follow, download, and share this show. And if you love listening, drop us a review on Apple or Spotify. And I'll be back next week with an all-new episode. Until then, to stay informed on all things Super Awesome Mix and what are you listening to, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Super Awesome Mix. Thanks for listening, and please join me again next week to find your new favorite song.